Kalshi, you can trade on anything.
Man, tell them something they don't know. Like,
pussy. Sub pussy up, biggie. Big pussy. Bitch. Y'all niggas. And oh, hell. This fuck. Shit. Fuck.
do these three things after a car accident if you want to potentially receive any money at all.
It was, other than that, the day has been pretty good. And we want to have a good show today. This is a topic that may answer a lot of questions and may give a lot of people some thoughts on a lot of things that you be shown in the media, in social media, and hearing people talk about and have discussions on certain things when it comes down to a lot of the artists. You know what I mean? So, today's show is titled Why is there so much hate when you disagree with an artist? Why is there so much hate when you disagree with an artist? And this is something that should be addressed around the world, basically. With a lot of, things that's going on in the entertainment world on the musical level. You know, it's so bad to where a lot of things that's being discussed and being, compromised is friendship between these artists. You know, and the friendship means more than the entertainment ship that they have with each other. So and I'm saying entertainment ship because it's about all the artists. What we're talking about is going on throughout the entire industry. And that's kind of sad. You know what I'm saying? You know, to have a lot of artists, on some, as everybody say, op type shit. You know, and it dwindled down to it can become family or friends. You know what I'm saying? So why the hate so high? You know what I'm saying? And why is it being allowed to be advertised so much on social media throughout the industry? Why are these artists being allowed to have so much hate with each other and then they wind up having to perform with each other, having to go do, special events with each other, charities with each other, all type of shit. You know, we got to stop as a people entertaining the entertainers because we do more speaking on them than they do themselves, and that's not making sense. You know what I'm saying? It's not making sense to the fact of to the fact of you know, how can we have certain type of relationships with people that we have issues with more so than the people who have been through the journey with us? That don't make sense. You can how can artists be at war with each other as everybody think? Because it's not true. It's just how everybody's thinking. It's how everybody's being made to think. But these artists are not really at war with each other. These artists are not really ops to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't we can't be in a situation and say the persons that I have fought means more to me than the people who have been with me, have been for me since day one. That don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. You know, and it's throughout the industry. You know what I'm saying? We got Shanita online, and we're gonna let her make her introduction, and then we'll continue the show. Hey, Shanita, welcome to the show.
Guys, thank you for having me via the phone. Having some technical issues with my vehicle today.
Hello, Shanita, you still there?
I can't hardly hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you a little bit better now.
Okay. Um, Now you can go ahead. You can continue.
It went out. Now, yeah, I can hear you clear.
Okay, go ahead.
So, guys, yeah, I picked the topic today because of all the controversy that's happening with Young Miami with her song. But she's not the first. She's not the first artist that have put out a song that has really blown up publicly. And then other artists are in disagreement. It happened with Sexy Red with the what's that song she sang? Something about the booty hole, whatever. All of that. You know, a lot of people were in high disagreement of that as well, and a lot of people had something to say about that. So it's like, if you are in their shoes, you're coming, if you grew up, you know, if you have a lot of money, or whether you did or didn't have a lot of money, you know, if you got a song and it has blown up on the charts, you know, you got to understand that with fame, you're going to have hate. That's part of the game, right? Wouldn't you agree, Big Jim?
Yeah, definitely. But
You
it
know?
shouldn't be so high. It shouldn't be a hate to where it causes people to have, you know, personal issues with each other. You know what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
name calling like Trick Daddy. He did go off and call India Irie a whole bunch of distasteful names, you know, because she did. But when India Irie gave her opinion on Young Miami, she actually didn't say anything degrading. She said she's not going to say the song, you know. She didn't agree with it. And then Trick Daddy, he come on, he's saying like, all y'all old witches or whatever. That's what he said about India Irie, but he used another word. But he was saying that, you know, they're pretty much jealous. Do you think, you know, in your opinion, do you think it's jealousy, or, you know, do you think it's just they don't agree with the quality of music? And I think too, it's the age difference. It's a new genre, you know. Ratchet music is its own genre, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you have rap, you have R&B, you have rap. Well, you also now have ratchet. That's a new genre, and the young people like it, you know.
yeah. But see,
So
but see, go ahead. On top of that, you know, even though the genre has changed, you know,
yeah,
it's still, you know, some of the artists who have some of the artists who are, you know, feeding into it, that's on the older scale.
yeah,
You know, I can kind of relate to them on speaking on it, cause see, back in the day when we was into the music world like that as artists,
yeah,
you had the you had the older artists, whether they were R&B, rap, gospel, don't make no difference. If they
right,
seen you was going in a direction that could cost you your image in the entertainment world,
yeah.
they gave
But
you a
that's like
phone
back
call.
in the day, like you said.
Yeah,
The key word is back in the day.
yeah, they gave you a phone call and they'll give you advice on the
Right.
things that you're doing.
On what to do, what to put
On
out, how to
Yeah,
uphold your image. Like back
they'll
in the
give you
day,
some.
like what's the girl Tasha Scott from Escape? How well one of the Escape members was saying how they treated her because she was pregnant. You know, they didn't.
Yeah,
And also, I think that happened with the Braxton sisters too.
yeah,
Tracy, you know, she always talk about how it would hurt their image. So we got to accept the fact that the imagery has changed from then to
yeah,
now.
definitely,
You know,
definitely.
the people, these new Gen X's, and I don't know what the new generation call themselves now, but
Yeah.
times have changed. So I feel like this. Everybody is not going to like your music. I don't care if you're
That's period.
Irie or if you're
Yeah,
Young
that's
Miami.
period. That's period.
Everybody is not going to like your music. Everybody's not going to be a fan. But do you come out and speak about it publicly and say your disagreement?
Saying that's the difference. That's what I was speaking on. That's the difference. See, now everybody uses social media to conversate instead of picking up the phone saying, "Hey, Young Miami, listen, you know, your music, this, that, and the third, but you know, try to be more discreet with it, or try to, they try to give you some advice on top of it. You feel what I'm saying? To make you understand that the way that they go about music now, as far as on a female perspective, that can only get you so far. You know what I'm saying? That's how the older generation artists used to talk to the new generation artists. You know, they'll call you and they would give you the compliment and the bash, but it's in a respectable way to where, you understood where they was coming from. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like an attack. They was actually advising you on, some of the things you do. It's amazing because we just had this conversation the other day about the dress code of the artists today. You know what I'm saying? And I was speaking to somebody about, how we was looking at videos. Matter of fact, we was looking at videos, and all the videos that we was looking at was from the 80s and early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Of artists, and my better half was like, she said we was at the some event center that they went to for her sister's birthday. And she said all the videos that they showed at that place was nothing but people shaking their behinds and this, that, and the other, and so forth and so on. And she was mesmerized by the videos that I was looking at on my phone from our time. You know what I'm saying? And she was, and when I say she was into it as if she was looking at a movie. And she said, "Oh," I said, "Do you notice? Are you noticing a lot about these videos?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "What are you noticing?" She said, "How they got on their clothes. They even if they were singing a song with a lot of vulgar language in it, it was on a respectable level, more so than a this is it level. You know what I'm saying? And it was really had her attention. It really had her attention, man, to where she was just she looked at videos for at least 2 hours, man. And like I say, some of the songs had lyrics in it that was harsh. You understand what I'm saying? That was sexist. But the artists who was performing those songs, they weren't dressed on that level or none of that. Wow. So it was really pleasing to her. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, she really into these videos. I said, but I said, that's the difference. I said, because have you ever seen where, and I was saying to her what I'm saying now about how the older artists are called the new genres of artists, and they'll advise them on certain things.
Well, I mean, but
so
she already blew up without.
Yeah.
She already blew up without the opinions of the ones that are coming out now. So I can see if maybe, like you said, like, how would she know to call her now? Because she already, I see what you're saying about giving advice as a,
that's it.
Like they say in the Bible, you're supposed to, the gray hair is supposed to talk to the young people.
That's right, and
I-
advise them, but not bash them.
But what if they don't talk to them? Like, say for
You
instance,
know,
Emmy Irene, what she didn't have any, doesn't appear that she had any relationship with Young Miami at all. So
Yep.
now that she's blown up, then she come out publicly and say that, what if she, you know what I'm saying? What if she did try to, like, reach out? What if she did or didn't? Like, who makes her opinion go? You know what I'm saying? Who makes that opinion the best
nobody,
opinion? Like,
nobody makes that opinion.
Right.
Nobody, you know, and that's why we got to stop taking it like that. We got to stop taking it as a, you know, the artist got to be made to feel like we're not talking to you to bash you or to, you know, put you down. We're trying to uplift you, to showing you how the artist can be for you at 1 minute and then be against you the next minute, all because of the way you may carry yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you know,
I get what you're saying too. I'm just playing both sides. Like,
Yeah.
if I was Young Miami, then I'm thinking, okay, well, I understand that. I've been around the music. I've been around the industry for a while, right?
Yeah.
Puffy was her boyfriend, so
Yeah.
I'm sure she's been around the industry, you know, for a while. She was with City Girls.
Yeah.
She knows. She's aware of that, and she still has selected to produce the music that she's brought out.
that's right.
That's what sell. You know how they say
And ain't
sex
nothing
sell?
wrong with that. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. But you know, even if let me say it like this, even if she take that advice or not, it's still up to her to produce her sound.
Yeah.
Because like you saying, that's the sound that made her. But at the same token, that you know, the advice that the other artists are giving her, and not bashing the advice that they giving her or that they recommended to her, however she take it.
Yeah.
They need to make sure that she understands why they are saying this to her or about her or whatever. You know, because one thing you can best believe, there's not an artist in the industry, and I want everybody to understand this. There's not an artist in the industry that can't contact the artist that they want to talk to, because they can.
Okay.
There's not an artist in the industry, I'm gonna say this again, that cannot contact the other artists in the industry. Why? How y'all think they get a chance to make songs with each other? Everybody in the industry is connected, because if you sign to a label, somebody knows how to call that label and get your information and call you,
Exactly.
or have them to have you to call them. However, you know what I'm saying? So it's not something that can't be done. You know, Trick Daddy, you know, I don't know what was said or how it was done or whatever, and I don't know why, you know, they have a problem with Young Miami music or something she done said or whatever, but it's still a way that it could have been handled better than, you know, having social media talking about it as if it's a beef or if it's a problem.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because we gotta get away from this drama shit so much, man, when it come down to talking to people. Just because somebody speaks something on you, man, that don't mean that they're speaking on you in a bad way. They're just speaking their opinion. You know, we talking about Trick Daddy. Trick Daddy talk harsh anyway. You know,
Right.
and a lot of time when people talk about how a person talking, I relate to it, so, you know, because people feel like that about me sometimes. Some people feel like I'm the most difficult person in the world to speak on or speak to. But I'm not. I'm not just that person that's going to, you know, entertain bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to entertain bull crap. I'm going to entertain something worth entertaining, so that you can have understanding whether it's about me, through me, around me, or under me. However, I'm gonna give you the real. You know what I'm saying? You know, but you can't contradict how a person is going to accept you. So when artists do certain things, man, you know, we got to have the open mind to see what, when, and why, and how they are doing that or being allowed to do it. Because if I was an owner in the industry to where I had a major label like that, my artists will be approached on certain things that they do. Certain music that they make, according to how we feel about the music, the song, the lyrics or whatever, we'll change some of that stuff. We'll change some of the lyrics. I won't allow them to do a lot of, say a lot of the things that they say in some of these songs. And between what we went through at YSL and what we have seen a lot of artists go through in the last 7 or 8 years, if I was an artist, I'd be real particular about what I say anyway. Because it's being made now to hurt you more than help you and pay you. Things that you say. You know what I'm saying? And and the Constitution allows you to have freedom of speech. But we have a society now to where they try to condemn you for what the hell you say. Look at what Mr. Hill just went through in Clayton County about speaking the way he speaks on his podcast about things that's going on in Clayton County. They tried to charge him with that.
Yep.
So, being mindful, you got to know that sooner or later you might have to protect yourself. I know it's some things I probably have said on the air that they really want to come at me about. You know what I'm saying? But I'm prepared for it because I meant to say what I said. I got freedom of speech. So I'm going to speak on what I want to speak on, how I want to speak on it, because this is conversation. And I'm one of the people who went through 3 years of somebody being convicted, trying to be convicted, trying to get convicted off of what they say. I rode that bus for 3 years, man. My family paid tremendously for that. And when I say my family, that didn't just affect Young Thug. That affected my whole family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I have grandsons, I have another son, I have 2 sons, 2 grandsons, a nephew, all that, great-grandsons, the whole 9 yards, man, that was attacked by Fulton County, gave an excessive amount of charges, and had to make plea deals in order to satisfy the system of something that was being done to them illegally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a game that they play. It's a game they playing. You know what I'm saying? And my family got caught up in it by being made their scapegoat for some illegal shit that was going on with our district attorney and the president and vice president of the United States, along with Fulton County judicial system, the district attorney office. So it's a lot of people play a role in a lot of these things that we don't see. You know what I'm saying? We just be made the scapegoat for it. And I ain't just talking about I'm talking about a lot of families. We got R. Kelly, P. Diddy, Bill Cosby. They being attacked by people who are just playing a game, man. And the game is their life, though. So to speak as an artist, all the artists need to pull more together than separate, because that's how they are controlling them. They're being controlled by that. Because the industry hasn't stood up for none of them. So that means they are being allowed to do a lot of things that a lot of people know is not right. A lot of people know can cause them their images in the industry. It can cause them their livelihood in the industry. as an artist, the whole 9 yards. You know, why should you be on the internet going back and forth with your family members? I wish my family members would do some shit like that. Cause if it's going on in the family, it's between the family. You know, I was upset. You know, I was upset at one time because I spoke to you about the Glorilla and her sister issue.
Right, you did.
You know what I'm saying? That ain't how that go. It don't work like that. It doesn't work like that, man. Family is family regardless of what. You know what I'm saying? See, family, these artists better start realizing family gonna be with you whether you up or down.
That part.
You understand what I'm saying? As soon as they start embracing that mentality, I guarantee you they'll start making better decisions.
Right.
Because if they start enacting their families more into their business, they'll be better off than having a bunch of strangers in their business.
Because the strangers go in there and go input their family in there.
You damn right. And they just there for the paycheck. Your family there for life.
I ain't gonna say no name, but
You know, your family there for life.
Right.
You know, it shouldn't be to where it get to a point to where your family have to be involved in your business because everybody else done bailed out on your ass.
Right.
Because something started going wrong. As long as everything going right, thank you.
Right.
As long as everything going right, they gonna ride this slate.
Exactly.
But as soon as something start looking, and I ain't saying going, if it start looking like it may be finna go downhill, everybody gonna start jumping out the ship.
That's on
You know,
period. That's what happens.
There you go. By the time the Titanic sinks, everybody won't nobody be on that ship but your ass.
And don't take some of your stuff with you.
Thank you. You know, so you know, we allow them to create differences with each other. You know, and like I say, and I will always use the YSL Rico trial for the example because it was all revealed in that trial. If people paid more attention to what was going on other than the distractions that they was putting in front of you to make you not realize and see what was really going on or forget what's really going on. They threw distractions at you. You know, and then at the end, they put my son's jail calls, videos from the jail phone, the whole 9 yard out of him having a conversation with his girlfriend.
Right.
And they was having conversation talking about guys who supposed to be his friends, guys who supposed to been cool with him on some level, this, that, and the other. And then the guys took it personal. Instead of acknowledging that this is a conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, who's in jail right now? Who you know in prison right now ain't trying to keep up with what's going on in the street. They are not calling home, talking to somebody, trying to find out what's going on in the street, or their family members or whoever they calling, friends or foe, are just volunteering to tell them what's going on with guys in the street that they know, don't know, supposed to have a problem with, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly.
That's what jail conversations be about. But for the guys who took it personal, and you supposed to be a friend of this man or cool with this man or whatever, y'all took it personally. I guess made up in y'all mind, I don't want to deal with this cat, or I ain't got nothing to say to this cat, this, that, and the other. And the man that made damn near all of y'all rich. He done damn near made all of y'all rich. He brought a lot of y'all back to life that was dead in the industry. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, and God knows if you call either one, if you put all of them in the room, if you put everybody that dealt with Young Thug in a room and ask them this question, all of them will have to honestly answer with me, with the answer me, and put them in a room and ask them, which one of you all have he ever done wrong to? And can't none of them say me. And then you say, which one of y'all have always progressed off dealing with him? Then they'll be able to say me. Which one of you all have ever called him and he didn't show up for you? Couldn't nobody say nothing.
Right.
So to let the system put y'all at odds with each other, who won?
Right.
Y'all gonna keep letting the system beat y'all? Y'all gonna keep letting the system keep y'all separated so that they can keep controlling y'all stupid asses? And I mean it just like that. Cause you got to be stupid to allow somebody to infiltrate you with somebody that you call friend or whatever, brother, buddy, whatever.
Right.
And you take their word, you let what they put in front of you override the loyalty that you have with each other, and can't sit down at the same table and say, hey, damn, dog, damn, man, I know that chain gang talk, but damn, you ain't have to say it like that about me. Or you ain't have to, if you're offended by something that was said,
Right.
call and talk. How can you?
I think they worked that out though since then,
Yeah.
right?
I don't think so, because my son had a concert December the 16th, and everybody that was on his roster damn near didn't show.
Oh wow.
So I can't tell. What other reason what could it have been for them not to show? You know what I'm saying? So we got to make it make sense. But at the same token, how can you say I'm gonna be cool with somebody who I have had legitimate gripes, legitimate beefs, or however you want to call it, disagreements? We don't have no respect, loyalty, or love for each other, none of that. But you'll see me make peace with these people, and I can't make peace with my people.
Right.
Make
That's
it make
crazy.
sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense, man. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff that's going on, society is controlling it. Because society is the one keeping the beefs going. Society is the ones feeding into all the ignorance, and the artists are being, slightly told to take advantage of it just for clout purposes. You can't say you love me today and hate me tomorrow.
Exactly.
It's either or. Ain't no in between. There's no in between. You know what I mean? So the people who are around them are more guilty to me. This is my opinion. The people who are around them every day, those are their influencers. They should be the ones saying, hey, dog, hey, man, this ain't cool. This, that ain't how it go, or however. And let them know that they're wrong by some of the things they're doing and saying and participating in. So, this is a good topic for today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We've been having some banging ass topics lately.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, they got to, the older school, we got to start talking to the new school in a way to where they can understand that it's not bashing them, it's trying to advise them. You know what I'm saying? A man tried to put together some years ago before he passed away. This man put together a song, and his vision for his song was for the purpose of what we speaking on now. And
What's that?
when he put this song together, the vision that God gave him on behalf of it, when he put the people in the song to create the song, amen, it was unbelievable. It was so remarkable, man, and awesome. You know, you can't begin to say what that song did to a lot of people. And that was Michael Jackson with "We Are the World."
I knew you was gonna say that.
You understand what I'm saying? The "We Are the World" song should be an anthem. It should be a national, it should be a worldwide anthem.
Love that song.
That's what it should be considered, because he put together something that everybody used to praise Martin Luther King for doing. And that's peaceful marching, peaceful protesting. Everything he did was peaceful. So when Michael Jackson made that song, man, and put that song together and put the people, you know, these people was damn near hand-picked for this song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for him to orchestrate it the way it was orchestrated, it was unbelievable, man. Those are the songs that we got to start putting back out in society for the people to remember. For the people to say, this is what we should be about, especially in the industry. Gunna had to go make a song with foreigners overseas because it was predicted to make the world hate him for thinking that he was a rat, for thinking that he had did something that he didn't do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, but the way it was presented, it was made to make him look like he had did something drastically wrong.
Yep, they did it on purpose.
It was intentional, and that's how they keep us
It was
separated.
definitely intentional, deliberate. But the thing is, like, people don't really, like, we were there, so we know. But like the guys, like Young Thug, like, he don't feel that way. He feel opposite of even what we're saying.
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? You know, they say one thing, but they really be totally on something different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, a lot of this stuff that these guys are speaking on, man, I wish they would just say, hey, man, this is the real. And stop entertaining.
Or even have a
Stop.
conversation with us about
Thank
it.
you.
Like,
Stop entertaining.
This is why we feel this way. We feel this way
Yeah.
because this.
Thank you. You know, stop entertaining the people so much. Because at the end of the day, the people don't give a damn one way or the other. They still support Gunner. They still support Thug. You know, so that should tell you something. Who are you impressing? You know, who's being impressed? Nobody's impressed. So let it go. Let it go. What we need to be saying, what their entourages and the people who are overseeing their musical talents and their musical lives needs to be telling them, y'all need to get together and put your heads together and put some music out and control the world with it. Put it in the world so the world can see, man, that it can be some things done right, man, without it always being bad first. Let's make something right. Let's make something right. Because at the end of the day, I think that's what's going to happen anyway.
Right.
And then
I
everybody
think,
going to
too,
be stuck on
because
stupid.
Right. Yeah, and think, too, because it was fresh, you know, and like we said before, of course the prosecutors come in and tell you that such and such said such and such. It may not be true. We don't know what all them folks told that man while he was in there.
Thank you. You know,
To make him feel the way how he feel.
and
you
we
know?
can't forget that he was misled by his attorney. You know, we can't forget that. You know what I'm saying? But the people don't see it. The people didn't see that. The people don't know that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I chose to tell it myself. You know what I'm saying? You know, because that's wrong, man. That's wrong. You know, so for the artists to be doing this to each other still at a time like this in society, you know, somebody got to speak on it. Somebody got to speak on it. And, you know, I really wish we hadn't put the word hate in the topic, but, you know, it's cool because I wish Trick Daddy, you know, whatever going on between him and Young Miami, I wish that they could call each other. One on would reach out and call the other, and they have a conversation.
Trick Daddy is for Miami.
Yeah.
He is against India Irie for speaking negatively
About Miami.
Or I wouldn't say negatively. I would say he's upset for her voicing her opinion on Young Miami's song.
Okay.
He feel like, you know, she should be more encouraging. Embracing.
Yeah. So they need to call Miss Irie. They need to reach out to Miss Irie and just, you know, talk to her. You know, because at the end of the day, you know, just like we saying, she got freedom of speech. She can say what she wanna say. But if you got a problem with something she said, just reach out to her.
Right.
Just reach out to her and say, I it can be, I'll apologize. Hey, if what I'm saying on the song offended you, I'm terribly sorry. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, that was just
nothing to offend.
You know.
I mean, I guess it's a personal preference. She don't like that song, but
Yeah.
I also think that that happens a lot. Remember when Nelly came and he had the apple bottoms, and a lot of people boycotted him from performing.
And it happened.
So this not the first time. Artists just do that sometimes.
Yeah, it happened. But we gotta see. We living in a time now, man. Well, and I don't get it, but everybody's in their damn feelings too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You know, especially about somebody just speaking their opinion about something.
Right.
It's an opinion.
But she's saying that song is encouraging young girls to steal and commit crimes.
And what is the song about?
They do say something like, "What my scamming ass."
Oh, okay. It's talking about things that's going on in the world today.
Well,
Basically.
or she could be talking about her past experiences.
You know? We don't know. So, but at the same token, we can't take it personal.
At the same token, people have a freedom of choice. If you don't
like
it, don't
listen.
listen.
Don't listen to it. You know what I'm saying? So, but we can't. We gotta stop, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just because somebody said don't make it true, or don't make it. Don't make it to where it's trying to lead somebody to do this, that, and the other. Hell, if that's the case, everybody need to be speaking on this Grand Theft Auto shit.
Yeah.
That's the most devastating game I have ever seen in life for a child to be playing. You know what I'm saying? So we can't. Why would we blame it on her saying something about it in a song, scamming or whatever in the song, whatever she got to say? How can that be more detrimental than you looking at a video game that your child is playing and you bought for your child to play? And it's showing the child how to rob, steal, kill, the whole 9 yards. But we take something somebody say on a song and we take it personal. We take it to a limit to where, you know, we speaking on it in a manner that she's wrong. She's just speaking on what's going on in society today. That's how I take it.
Exactly, and what she's experienced
You know,
before.
so it's not like she's saying something that's not true. People are scamming every day. People been scamming since the day since the beginning of time. So that that's not. It's a lot of people that's been influenced by scamming.
Right.
So she's not saying nothing that's gonna make somebody go out there and do something that's gonna be new.
That's what I'm saying. What's the saying you always say? What you eat don't make
What
me.
you eat don't make me. That's it.
Right. Like, it's your choice, and it's your choice if you want to have your kids listening to it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's
and,
right.
And these kids be doing
That's right.
the opposite of what you teach them anyway.
Thank you. Cause I definitely used to, well, I have a couple of times whooped Thug for listening to Lil Wayne. Even though sometimes I couldn't understand what Wayne was saying, it was just a thing of me knowing that he's a gangster rapper, this, that, and the other, and the things that he's saying. I didn't want my children hearing it and saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't condemn his music on the level to where,
listen to it anyway. That
thank
became
you.
his idol,
You know what I'm saying? So that was his idol. And that
So the
eventually,
kids do what they want to anyway. Even if you don't play it or you tell them not to
That's
play
right.
it, when they get to school, we can't
Well,
control everything. We can only
I'm not in the
instill
household, so I can't
that we
control
taught,
it. Yeah, I
It's
can't
out of
control it.
control. I realized, we can't. We can only control these kids to so much.
That's
They
it.
have to learn to stand on their own, and they got to learn to make decisions on their own in absence of what you've taught them. So it's all
There
about
you
how
go.
you teach your kids. You know
And
what I'm saying?
and I allowed him to choose his own poison. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't stop it. I wasn't in the household. It ain't like I can say anything about Lil Wayne, I'm throwing it out or you won't have it. I wasn't in the household, so I couldn't control that. So I had to tell him, don't let what you hearing in a song manipulate your mind to think that you can do it or it's true or whatever. It's a song. I made him understand it's just a song, son. So just because somebody's saying this and that and the other, that doesn't make it true. And I like Lil Wayne. I'm just not into rap. Well, I wasn't then. I wasn't into rap. I had deaf ears to rap.
Right, and I like
know.
Young Miami, but that is not my choice of song that I like that she's made.
Yeah. Well, when they be in these studios, man, let me tell y'all something I learned. And it goes to how I live my life. If you have never done it, you can't condemn it. You know what I'm saying? Right. If you've never been a part of that type of lifestyle or that type of music or that type of anything, you can't condemn it because you don't know it. It's nothing that you have been exposed to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right. Why
condemn it?
Exactly.
Take the time, sit down, listen to it. It ain't, like I said, it ain't necessarily got to be music. It can be anything. Listen to it. Listen to the music, a person. It can be some people saying something that, you don't agree with. Take the time and listen to it, and then give your opinion. And that's what I feel like Miss Ari did. She gave her opinion, and everybody's taking it personal.
Right, that's her opinion.
That's her opinion. She's entitled to that. She's entitled to her opinion. But, that's why if Young Miami had a problem with it, or Trick Daddy had a problem with it, reach out to her. Reach out to Miss Irene and say, what you saying, I understand, I can relate to it, this, that, and the other, but did you have to say it like that, or did you have to put it like that, or anything. Just have the conversation, and then see what she coming from. You know what I'm saying? See what she coming from with that. You know what I'm saying? And she made it. From what you saying, she gave a directive on it by saying that it can cause young women or whoever to go out there and think that they can do this, that, and the other. But that's not the influence of it. She didn't say if she said this is what I did, that's what she did. That don't mean what worked for me work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe she need to, and what Young Miami can do is she can go on the internet, on her page or whatever, or make a post and say, I don't mean that young ladies, y'all go out here and do that. I don't mean, I didn't say that for y'all to take it and run with it and say, okay, if she did it, I can do it. No, that's not, it's a song. See, that's what need to be verified to everybody if they got a problem with it. This is just a song. Who's to say I actually did it? You ain't never seen me on TV, on the news, being convicted for it. Who's to say she used to do that? It's a song. And the system has made it so public to where now everybody feels like whatever somebody say on a song, it must be true because they can lock you up for saying it and try to charge you with it. So the fear is in society now. And we're gonna go off the table for the music industry. We just had somebody on a talk show or something was speaking on something, and they tried to give them charges for saying it, for speaking their opinion. And like I say,
That's just her opinion. She don't like it.
Thank you.
That's not her genre of music.
So they just did Victor Hill like that again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey man, come on now. We gotta do better. We gotta do better, man. We gotta stop letting the system control us like that. Because as long as the system can keep us under the table like that, we gonna stop being able to speak any kind of way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Everything gonna
saying?
be so censored.
Thank you. Let's start fighting people to get rid of the Confederate laws. Let's start fighting that. Let's stop letting them distract us.
But the thing is, it's going. I think it's going a little bit deeper than people's opinion. It's going into a little bit of hatred because you got Nikki Gilbert. She's saying that Young Miami lyrics are straight up witchcraft.
Yeah, and that's because everybody's starting to believe in all of that black society shit. So we gotta, we definitely gotta get that out of our kids' lives. Our grandchildren shouldn't even be exposed to that type of mentality or behavior. You know what I'm saying? Because the kids, the generation now, they are so wrapped up in it to where you can't rescue them from it. So we gotta go past them to the grandchildren now. And make sure that they don't fall into that slump. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, I know something. Witchcraft is not what they're doing today. So, they naming it witchcraft. They naming it this, that, and the other. So, hey man, how can you believe in something you don't have experience with? If your parents gave you a book and told you to read this book, it'll make you smarter, you'll throw the book down. But you'll go listen to a total stranger say, put these beads on your neck and won't no harm come to you and your ass wind up in jail tomorrow. or you wind up getting shot, or you wind up stomping your toe. You know, make it make sense.
Ooh, you killed me with them bees, though.
You know, come on now. You know, go kill you a chicken. Go kill you a squirrel. Go kill you a rabbit and do this, that, and the other, and you gonna be all right. I can't tell.
I can't tell. I really can't tell. I don't care what they say. I say it all the time. It ain't working. It ain't
No,
working.
because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what it's about. They don't have no education whatsoever on voodoo. None. They going on what somebody's telling them that they are paying to say things to them. Listen, that the key word to all of you ignorant people that's out there believing that is you are paying for somebody to tell you that. For somebody to tell you what you want to hear.
When God says salvation is free,
Thank
He
you.
don't charge you no $300-$400
Thank you.
to say no prayer. Ain't gotta kill no rooster for you.
You know, that's your sacrifice. That's your sacrifice. Okay. You know,
And
so
I'm the type of person, I'm very open-minded. I don't, if people believe in stuff, I let them believe in what they choose to believe in. Freedom of speech or freedom of religion. That's totally me.
that's it.
But at the same time, if you trying to persuade me to believe in what you're believing, and I'm not seeing any results for you, then what make you think I'm gonna do it? Because I don't see
Thank
it
you.
working for you.
Thank you. How you gonna tell me you got a what they say baba and you in jail? But your baba told you gonna be all right. Eventually you are gonna be all right.
Right.
You understand? Because you're gonna go to court, you're gonna take a plea, or you're gonna go to trial, or this, that, and other. But either or, eventually it's gonna be over with. So you're right. Let me see. You know, I'm gonna tell you like I have told my children sometimes. Let me see your baba come and make bond for you.
I'm trying to tell you.
Let me see your baba come and tell the police let you out the car cause you got on your beads.
Let me see Baba put you stove for 1 week on your
Thank you.
book.
You know, let me see them do something for you. Let me see them do something that's gonna work. Because evidently you wearing all these beads and eating all this chicken and horses and cows and all that old kind of shit ain't working. Cause you still getting in trouble.
Right.
So something ain't right.
Your mindset ain't changing. You thinking you can just do that and then everything gonna be all right. Your mindset ain't changing. Your behavior ain't changing.
Thank you. You
gonna
bought
be
the
back to
wrong
fucking
chicken.
square one.
You bought that bad chicken. You know. So hey man, come on man. This generation of children, they are too easily influenced by anybody.
I'm telling you.
And the only thing they doing is making it sound good to you. We weren't raised like that. If you can't prove it, that don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Prove something to me. Prove to me that what you saying to me actually works. Prove it to me. You know, so, you know, hey man, they did this and I came home. You were gonna come home anyway. No evidence. If you can't prove something, you're gonna have to be let go. If you can't do this or that and the other, it's gonna have to pass. You know, so you can't go to somebody and they say, okay, we gonna bless you and that gonna be it. That's all you need, and then you go out there and die.
Exactly.
Evidently, you needed more. How much money did you pay them? You must have gave them $500 on $5,000.
Okay.
You know what happened?
What happened? Right.
You know, someone
That's
right.
The angels and your ancestors, they waiting to help you for free. You ain't gotta. But can't tell them nothing. I just,
Try God.
Just try 'em. Just
Give
put all
God a
that
try.
energy into Jesus as you do into
There
all
you
this
go.
other stuff. And then tell me it didn't work.
Y'all give God a try.
All this energy that you put into this Baba and stuff, try
Yeah.
it and put it into Jesus. One
Yeah,
time.
give God a try. Go to church.
God is trying.
Go to church and pray on it. Get on your knees and pray. Your temple can be your body. That's all they telling. That's all the Bible are telling you. Is your body is the temple. So they give you something to believe in. And they say, well, okay, what are these bees? And then I see people with, you don't have on one strand of bead, you have on 100 strands of bead. You need prayer that bad, you need to take your ass somewhere and get on your knees.
On God, for real.
You need to go get on your knees. If you got to wear that many, if you got to wear that amount of stuff, man, you need to go get on your knees, doc.
Exactly.
Because there's something going on with you.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
That's too much. You walking around looking like Mr. T with beads on.
Right. And still ain't progress.
Ain't nothing happening for you.
Exactly.
Come on, man. You
Well,
winding
you
up
know,
in better situations than you were before.
But you, and like I said to my family member, you could be progressing, but you can't say that ain't from the prayers of your grandparents and your parent.
There
you know.
There you go. So
People have prayed for you then before you met the Bible. I remember.
Thank you. So it is that causes a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? That's something I used to say to some of my friends that went back and forth to prison. You got to be crazy to go back and forth to prison. And then you say, I found Islam when I was in prison. Okay, you're on the street now. You're on the street. Well, I'm a worship and this, that. Okay, but is that really your true religion? You can talk it all day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The only time you are in, your Muslim hood is when you in trouble. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make this crap make sense, man. You know what I'm saying? You got 10,000 people in the Islamic world, and you say you are Muslim, but I don't never see you doing what the Muslims do.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. You put your little bean on, that ain't nothing. You say you shut down at this, that. That's not nothing. What type of contribution are you doing in your religion? Let us see that you for real with it. How many times have you went to see Farrakhan speak? How many times have you volunteered to help raise money and stand out there on the corner with them bean pies and that fruit and them newspapers? What type of participation are you putting into your religion?
Right.
Let's make it make sense. Let us see that you are true with it instead of just doing it.
Exactly. Because you're making a mockery out of it. Because it could be some truth to it. I actually say I believe it's some truth to a little bit of everything.
It is.
But
it is.
But
if you're not a participant in it,
on with it, you making it look like a mockery.
Thank
you
you.
Making it look like it's not real. Because the way you carrying yourself, and then you do this crazy stuff after you be done prayed and paid your bye-bye, and then you come and do something else crazy, and then want somebody to believe that. So,
and it's because they are buying their religion.
Right.
You're not an active participant in your religion. You buying your religion. That's just like a lot of these cats done paid to be considered a gang member. You can't pay for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't pay for that. You have to be initiated.
Right.
So how you think you're going to be taken to be a full-fledged gang member when you got gang members who have earned their stripes to be in that position? You think they just gonna let you walk in? No, it don't work like that.
Right.
It don't work like that. So stop thinking it do, because it don't. And then when you run across somebody who is a full-fledged member of any type of organization, and you don't address it properly, you don't get your head busted. And a lot of these artificial, a lot of these artificial members, they know this. It ain't like they don't know it. You know that you are not a real gang member. You know you ain't for sure. You know this. So if you know it, stop trying to live it. Stop trying to be it. Just be who you are. You'll get more respect. You'll get better respect. People will accept you better because you're not trying to be them. You know, so that's where a lot of this hate come from. You can't jump gang like you jumping hopscotch. You know, so it's a lot of reasons why the hate becomes sociably, because it don't become real with these artists, because they are all over the place. They are all over the place. These artists today are all over the place.
Right.
Some of them don't know if they want a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Some don't know if they want to smoke weed or drink lean. Some don't know if they want to, pop a pill or drink lean or smoke weed or drink alcohol. Some of them just say, damn it, I'm going to do it all. But what is the purpose? What is it? What are you getting out of it? Besides a frustrated mind, and you're already frustrated. What you getting out of it? Social life is different than you just doing it. If you are a social drinker, it's different than being an impressive drinker. I call people who try to fit in people who are living an impressing life. Because you're trying to fit in. You know it's not you. You're just trying to fit in. So you participate so everybody will look at you a different way. Let everybody look at you for who you are. Then you won't be out here doing diss songs. Then you won't be out here dropping disrespect on people's names unless they really deserve it. Not because you're trying to get some clout off of their names or off of their, off of their engagements of good or bad. Do it for a purpose. If you don't know that person, why try to speak on that person in a bad? If our parents used to raise us on, if you ain't got nothing good to say about somebody, man, just don't say nothing.
Exactly. Need to go back to those old school values.
Just don't say nothing. If you got a problem with a person, address that person. Social media cannot address a person better than you can face to face. If you can call them on the phone, call them on the phone. Address it and get an understanding. And you'll be surprised how much air and smoke can be cleared by you addressing the person, having a conversation. Miss Ari, reach out to young man. Talk to her. Have a conversation with her. you got a lot of respect in society to where it's no way you can tell, it's no way somebody can even attempt to try to convince me that Young Miami will not accept a call and have a conversation for Miss India Irie. Trick Daddy, if you can put them together, put them together, bro. Put them together. Put them on the phone, however, and y'all have a conversation. Let's start, you old school like me, man. Let's start altering these situations. Let's start trying to speak on them and try to give these people, the profound mindsets to address things instead of always taking it as an insult and personal. Because that's where we at right now in society.
Right.
And we see it every day. Our politicians, they artists too. Anybody that's in a leadership position on entertainment, politics, anything that's social gathering, they entertainers. Our politicians entertain us in their debates by saying something bad about the other one to get a vote. That lets you know that they even understand that our society is so messed up to where you got to slander somebody in order to win people's opinions for a vote. We done got that bad in society that we try to prosper off of somebody else's mishaps. Come on, man. Let's be for real. And then the first thing we do is start talking about tax. Tax. Half of us don't get damn taxes anyway. So what's the big deal with tax? Half of us, a lot of people ain't even working getting more tax than a person working on the job. What the hell the tax got to do with it? Why should we be discussing taxes when society
I haven't heard that one.
when society is messed up? Taxes don't have nothing to do with slander. Being a president, being a governor, being the mayor, being a public citizen, being a goddamn councilman, being anything in the political world don't have nothing to do with slander. So why is it so talked about in these debates? In these people that's running in their campaigns, they make their campaign commercials based on slander. And then at the end of the damn commercial, they actually say, and I paid for this. Really? Really? I sponsor so-and-so, so-and-so. So-and-so sponsor so-and-so, so-and-so. Really? Are y'all really serious, man? This what we done got to? Slander is the ruler of controlling society to progress. We progressing off of slander. That's scary to me. My opinion is that's scary. That is real scary. And soon as our politicians get in office, everything changed. Because they didn't promise you nothing anyway. They'll say, yeah, we're going to make taxes this and taxes that, or we're going to make, gas this and gas that. We're going to make it, cool for this to happen and cool for that to happen. And it never happens, though. And then the things that they do get in, it don't be nothing to support the people in society. It don't have nothing to do with the people. Nothing. But they throw a stone in the street for us to trip over by saying, this is what I'm doing, or this is what I got, this is what I'm having doing. Everybody has an attitude for no reason. Because we living a life of personal aggression every day, because this is what's being showed to us every day. If you see something enough or hear something enough over and over, sooner or later you are going to believe that it's true. And it can be wrong as shit. We got people arguing or having a misunderstanding because of a way somebody takes the lyrics of a song. Something that we're seeing district attorneys try to convict our loved ones for all over the United States. They're using it now. That's a brand. Everybody's trying to have a state RICO. Are you serious? Are we really serious? We really gonna allow certain people to come in our office? They just, we better start realizing our DAs are just district attorneys for 4 years. So for 4 years, we're going to allow somebody to come in on their term and say, okay, I'm finna put in a state RICO. Now, after I'm gone, somebody else might take it back out, but right now, I'm finna put it in and enforce it because I'm trying to impress somebody to make them think that I'm the best person for the job. Or trying to sham it to say, okay, since I'm doing this for so-and-so, so-and-so to try to make this stick or this happen, I need some scapegoats and just throw your loved ones in the fire. Remember, it happened to us, it can happen to you. They don't care who it be. They don't care who it be. So.
Right, because it happened to the school teachers before YSL.
Thank you. They don't care who it be.
Yeah, so,
So, hey man, we better come together and stop letting the system keep us separated. Stop letting certain people keep us separated. Stop letting the people who feel like they have the upper hand keep us separated. It's time out for that. So we got to do better, man. We got to start coming together. Let's start being more supportive than negative. Let's start supporting each other better. It shouldn't take for us to have to say on a show that we need to come together when everybody know this. Let's do it before it have to be done. We always say we need to start doing things before it happens to somebody, and then everybody decide to want to do something about it. We know it's happening. We know what's going on. We in the midst of what's taking place. So it don't have to happen. It's already happening. Let's go on and start doing something about it before it goes to a particular person. And then it's specified that, yeah, this is what's going on. Let's stop it.
right.
Let's grab it right now. So it's just a thing to where we gotta get grips on society again. Cause I don't want my grandchildren growing up to feel like they only hope is to have a issue with somebody in order to feel like somebody or be somebody. I don't want that for my grandkids.
Right.
You know, that's why I'm speaking on it now. That's why I'm trying to shake the tree now. To shake all them bad leaves off that tree. And let some fresh leaves grow on the tree. And have better control of it by giving it the proper nutrition. Let's do that. Let's work on that more than us always coming up saying something wrong with somebody's family or something wrong with somebody individual person, you know, this, that, and the third. And hey, man, these are our people we talking about. These are our people. You know, so let's kill that. Let's start working on that more. And then we'll see how the laws change, how things start being done different, how things are being said differently. I don't want my political leader to be telling, you know, to be feeding me things that don't have nothing to do with what's going on in the society. Nothing. Show me what you're going to do to make things right in society with the people. Let's talk about that. You know, so we're going to bring the show to an end. And we hope everybody have a good 4th of July weekend. Hope
And
that
guys, we're forgetting something. You guys don't know, but this Saturday is Big Jeff's birthday. Happy birthday, Big Jeff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big Jeff turned the big 6-0 tomorrow.
Big 6-0.
I turned the big 6-0 tomorrow, and you know I'm just gonna try to continue to enjoy my life, enjoy being here. You know what I'm saying? I really don't plan things, you know, so I don't know what I'm gonna be doing or how I'm gonna be doing it or where I'm gonna be doing it at. But you know, if God see me, you know, allow me to wake up in the morning, I feel blessed anyway. I feel like I had a damn good birthday because I woke up. You know, so everything else that take place is just a plus. You know, so this is where we at. So we're gonna get out of here. Hope everybody enjoyed our 4th of July weekend. And remember, our country turns 250 years old tomorrow. And they will be celebrating big everywhere. You know, so I might wind up trying to enjoy me a parade somewhere. I don't know. But other than that, this is Big Jeff.
This is Shanita.
Coming to you live from No Days Off Radio Production with the #1 show in the land, Nothing But The Truth. And we out. What you know, Sue? What's up, baby? Wait. Yeah. Yeah, I'll take you home. All right, but it's gonna have to be when Whitney gets though. All right. Okay. You over there now? Oh, why she can't take you home? Yeah. I'll try to sing you a song.